Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FrostBytez Gaming Experience, part number 16 of the Pokemon Emerald walkthrough, and got a bit of another long one. We got some back-to-back long ones after a couple short ones there, but unfortunately this is a long one where really not a lot happens, and unfortunately not a lot happens for, I guess, like, the best way I could put it is for, like, the wrong reasons, I guess. So this is going to be a long part because we're going to be trucking our way through the desert region of route number 111. Since we now have the Go goggles, we are capable of actually going through there without having, I'm guessing, a whole bunch of sand getting into our eye. Because I guess in that one area, it's a constant sandstorm going on. And if Star Wars Episode 1 taught us anything, it's that the sandstorms that go on are something that you never really want to mess with. Now, I've never really, like, I guess where I live, you can call it a desert-like area in a way, but it's, like, really not. It's more like a cold desert, I guess. So I guess it is in a sense, but it's more of, you know, with blizzards and snow instead of sand and sandstorms. But we do have a ton of sand around us as well. When the winds really do start to pick up, I can definitely see where that is going to be a massive issue because sand getting in your eye, not exactly all that fun. But before we start going in throughout route number 111, we are going into the Mirage Tower of route 111. The Mirage Tower will appear every single time you exit the route 111 and re-enter route number 111. Now I'm going to explain that a little bit more, but first off, the reason why we haven't gotten ourselves any repels is because we need to introduce a brand new member of the team. Hello there, Trapinch. Welcome to the team. So, Trapinch, a ground type Pokemon that eventually evolves into a ground dragon type. The first one before we get our boy Garchomp in gen number 4. Not as good as Garchomp, but I still remember the first time I saw what Flygon was, and I was like, yeah, buddy, this is going to be on my team. And I have loved Flygon ever since, even though he's not exactly the best, because again, the very next generation, we get ourselves a brand new Dragon Ground type and Garchomp that has Intimidate and way better stats. But I still think Flygon is a really cool looking Pokemon in my opinion. And again, a ground dragon type, especially in Gen 3, was really OP. You know, even for the time. And if it wasn't for the fact that Rayquaza was just a better dragon in the very beginning, and it was one of the better dragon types to go for, really, in this generation. Because anything that can learn... I don't know if... I believe that we have Draco Meteor in Gen 2, if I'm not mistaken, but like Outrage as well. Anything that can learn those moves, as well as Earthquake, while also having... I believe Flygon does have Levitate as well, so can just avoid other ground type moves, which again, being a ground dragon type, not exactly the worst thing to get hit by another Earthquake, but it's still nice to have. In the very beginning, you start off with Bite and Feint Attack. Yes, please. Alright, we'll just take advantage of him right out of the gate. Now, one thing that I do kind of do wrong, though, is that I should have put Soul Rock in the top and switched him with Blaziken so that Soul Rock can keep getting a little bit of experience in the duel fights, but I forget to do that. You know, not every Let's Play / walkthrough is perfect. That's just the way it is. The biggest thing about the Mirage Tower is that once you reach the top, you have 2 fossils to pick from, and it gives you the whole entire deal of, hey, when you pick one, the entire tower is going to collapse and you're going to lose the other fossil. So, you know, it's way of saying, hey, you get one, your buddy gets the other, and you trade that way. We go for the Claw one, doesn't matter. We're just like within Gens 1 and Gen 2, we're not really using any of our ancient fossil Pokemon. Actually, now I think about it, Gen 2 didn't have any ancient fossil Pokemon because it was just Kabuto and Ammonite from Gen 1. But yeah, we're not really utilizing them because A, we've already got our rock type, and our rock type is actually better than, you know, the rock type that we can get. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head of either of them really, because again, I never really utilized them. But really quickly, the Mirage Tower, the way that it works is that it'll appear and disappear every single time you leave the route and come back, meaning that when you're on route number 111, you have to go all the way to route 112 until it pops up saying, hey, you're on route 112, go back to route 111, and it'll, if it was not there, it's going to appear, and if it was there, it's going to disappear until you get the fossil, and then it's just, I think it's just gone for good, actually, but that I'm not exactly 100% sure on. You need to have the Mach Bike, however, if you're looking to go to the top of the tower, because those little cracks that you saw me ride my bike over, those are cracks that if you don't ride fast enough, they'll just crack the minute you step on them and you'll fall on through. The acrobite, you can't get through with it. You can't get through with it by basic walking either. It has to be the mock bike, and you have to start from a relative distance. If you start off in a slow pace, one pixel away, and go immediately on it, you're going to fall right on through. That's just a small little bit of what we have to go through in a particular area later on in the game with a mock bike that is, I don't want to say extremely difficult, but it is extremely frustrating whenever you do mess up on it, because you do have to be a little bit precise. And if we know anything about my channel, we are far from being precise on anything. So, we'll see how that goes. Last thing to mention about Mirage Tower is that yes, you do have encounter ratios on there, but it's only 2 Pokemon. It is Sandshrew and Trapinch, and it is a 50% chance in running into either of them. The other thing I should mention is that the Mirage Tower is a Pokemon Emerald exclusive. In the Ruby and Sapphire version, the fossils are just in the middle of the desert portion of Route 111. There is no tower. The tower was introduced for the Emerald version. Okay, so there's that, I guess. But that's, again, you can only run into a Sandshrew and a Trapinch, and obviously we ran into a couple Sandshrews before we were able to run into our boy Trapinch. Kind of low, what were we, I think we were level 23 or 22, I think 23. We kind of low rolled a bit as far as like what level we got Trapinch, because you can get him between levels, I believe, 20 and 24. And generally you want them at the lower levels to get more stats on them the more they level up. But when it comes to something like this, it's not exactly the worst if we get in the higher level. I just wanted to get my Trapinch and call it good right there. But with that said, so as you can see in the desert area, we got 2 different elevations. What we're standing on right now, we're in a deeper portion of the sand, and that is the same as being inside the tall grass. So when we are running around in the desert area and we are in the deep sand is what it's actually called, in all 3 versions you have a 35% chance to run to a Sandshrew with a 35% chance to run to a Trapinch. In the Ruby and Sapphire version you have a 20% chance to run into a Kakina? No. It's basically a cactus, but it's pronounced like Kakina. Cacna. There we go. I think that's how it should be. Cacna. Anyways, 20% chance in the Ruby and Sapphire version with only a 6% chance in the Emerald version. And in the Ruby Sapphire version, you have a 10% chance to run to a Baltoy with a 24% chance to run into it in the Emerald version. And like with everything else, the Rock Smash can only get you a Geodude. Alright, now I don't remember if in route number 111 I did go over the surfing and fishing stats, but, you know, we might as well just bring it up again. In the Emerald version, you have a 1% chance to run into a Goldeen if you are surfing, 1% chance for a Surskit in the Ruby and Sapphire version, and a 99% chance for a Marill in all 3 versions. If you are fishing with the Old Rod, it is a 30% chance for a Goldeen and a 70% chance for a Magikarp, 20% chance for a Goldeen, 60% chance for a Magikarp, and 20% chance for a Barboach with the Good Rod, and a 100% chance for a Barboach with the Super Rod. So, if you've already noticed, the biggest reason why this part is as long as it is because of the sandstorm. And also because Trapinch is not exactly that high of a level, so we're not one-shotting everything, but I kind of wanted to utilize Trapinch right out of the gate and get a bunch of free experience on him when I could. Unfortunately, because he hasn't evolved yet into, I believe it's called the Vibrava, which is a really cool sand-looking dragonfly ordeal. I love it so much. But because we're not there yet, our stats are not exactly capable of taking advantage of the moves Bite and Feint Attack as well. Plus, we don't get the stab on. In fact, we don't even have a stab move just yet on Trapinch. And the first stab move we get isn't exactly one of the best ground-type stab moves to have. So we're really off to a bit of a slow start with Trapinch, unfortunately. But again, I wanted to get a good start on getting levels on him because he's at a high enough level, as you can see, you know, we're evened up with our opponents and we can go ahead and fight him because, again, having Feint Attack is a good dark move to have anyways, even if we don't get a stab off of it, and Bite is just relatively good as well, along with the fact that a lot of the trainers, not a lot, but some of the trainers we are running into are going to be utilizing ball toys. So we do have that super effective attack against them that Trapinch can utilize. Along with the fact that since, you know, Feint Attack has a guaranteed chance to hit no matter what, no matter how many times we get hit with a Mud Slap or a Sand Attack, which we do get hit, especially with Sand Attacks later on, we are going to be able to damage them anyways. Now again, Sableye is the better option with this, but I'm trying to get as much experience on a Trapinch as I can, especially on camera, before I get him evolved into a Vibrava. And then once that happens, then it's all downhill from there. It's just becomes so much easier. But right now it's an uphill struggle climb to get him to that point where once we get that first evolution, I believe we have to be level 30-ish, late 20, early 30. Let me actually double check on this here. So we have ourselves a Trapinch, and I might as well look this up because I really got nothing else going on in this video. Again, because we're in the desert, there is a constant sandstorm going on, and even if it doesn't affect your Pokemon, it'll continuously say the sandstorm is going. And this continues with my point personally on how I feel that Gen 3 feels a little bit slower compared to other Pokemon games, because, you know, when every single turn has to remind us, and I get it in some cases, you know, it's like a way to remind you, hey, this is going on, and this is the aftermath of it. But if I have a Trapinch out, and the Sandshrew is out, the very beginning can tell us the sandstorm is raging, but after that, because neither of us take damage from it, why do I have to constantly be reminded that the sandstorm is raging? I know that it's raging. I can see it. In fact, even taking a small little bit just to showcase, have it blow through without telling me, that's going to be more than enough. But because this continuously happens, it really brings the pace down. And we're only doing route number 111, you know, and there's not a whole mess of trainers going on with it, but having the fact that we're not doing a whole lot of damage with Trapinch, on top of the fact that we are dealing with a constant sandstorm going on, it makes it for a relatively long part, even though we're only going through one section of route. It's not even full route 111, we're just going through a section of it. And yeah, it kind of brings it to a bit of a slowdown, really, unfortunately. Anyway, so let's take a look here. My boy Trapinch. I love this little guy. He's so cute, too. Like, look at that. He's got a little, like, star in his eyes. He's got that weird little goofy smile. He's like, yeah, I'm adorable, but I'm gonna fucking bite your face right off. Oh, he's fantastic. Anyways, Vibrava? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know exactly. Good lord, level 35. That's way later than I thought. I thought it was like late 20, early, like 30 or late 20, but 35? Wow. And then you get Flygon on level 45, but wow, 35. Oh, I need to look actually. What kind of moves am I going to learn that's going to help me out here? Because again, Crunch and, not Crunch, but Bite and Feint Attack are good, but they're not Stab. And, oh my god, we don't even learn Crunch until level 33? Holy, this is gonna be something else. It's gonna take a while for me to actually get the most out of Trapinch here. But again, Bite and Feint Attack, both pretty good moves. Again, just not getting the stab off of it kind of does suck a bit. But I think we'll be more than okay. I do have Dig. I could teach Trapinch Dig. In fact, I might have to, because it has the same attack as our Bite and Feint Attack, but we actually get the stab with it, as well as the ability to dodge out on other attacks. The only problem with that is that obviously it's going to come with the fact that it's going to be increasing the time it takes to take out these Pokemon anyways, which is really going to suck a bit, but can't really do much on top of that. I could teach it Strength. No, I'm not teaching it Strength because I need to teach it Fly later on. Who am I teaching Strength to? I don't even remember. I need to take a look into that. What do I got? Let's see here. Who do I have that? Oh, man, I don't even know who I'm teaching Strength to now that I think about it. I might have to teach Strength to Trapinch for the time being and then make it forget it so I could teach it Fly later on. Because it is going to be, unfortunately, my Fly bitch. Because again, I don't really want to have another separate Pokemon that I have to keep withdrawing consistently in order to utilize Fly and then take it out again. I'd much rather just avoid that as much as possible. What other moves would I be able to teach it for the time being? Oh, I already taught Rock Tomb to Soul Rocks. I can't really do anything with that. And yeah, so it looks like Dig's going to be my best bet for the time being, along with having Bite and Feint Attack. But again, as long as I get a stab out of it, I guess it's okay. You know, I'm going to keep pronouncing it as Vibrava. Because it's like vibrations and whatnot. You know, does it actually show how you're supposed to pronounce it? I'm not exactly sure. I'm just going to call it Vibrava. You guys can get mad at me all you want for consistently calling Pokemon by the wrong names. But you know what? I've always seen it as Vibrava, and I'm going to keep calling it Vibrava. I don't care what any of you guys got to say out there. Anyways, anybody gone through a really big food coma before? I'm pretty sure just about everybody that's watching this has. I can almost guarantee that. My goodness, like, today had some of the best pork of my entire life. We have this food truck that goes around, and it sells this food that's called a hog on a log, which is basically a whole bunch of pork on one of those little shish kebab steak deals. And oh my god, some of the, like, they take it, it's cooked perfectly, then they dip it in this entire like vat of barbecue sauce or their specialty sauce or whatever it is, and then you just eat it right then and there, and my god, is it the juiciest fucking thing ever, and it is amazing. I love it. But god, did that meant that I ate way too much of it, and especially because we're finally getting some sunshine outside with the heat and whatnot. I got knocked on my ass for about a good 3 hours today because of that food coma. Like, I was hoping to get a lot done today, and literally none of it got done because I put myself through this atrocity of a food coma. You know, so yeah. Kind of just going on about the events today because there's literally nothing going on else with this entire part. Luckily, after this, we're going to be going through another gym leader because we got our own dad that we're actually going to be going against. So that's going to be a lot of fun, especially because it is a normal type gym and has a relatively strong Pokemon that I absolutely despise, that I don't really utilize because he's only capable of attacking every other turn. But his attack stat is so high because of it that he can literally just knock you flat on your ass. But good news, Blaziken. We already got ourselves a bulk up along with a double kick. Like, it's going to be one of the easiest gyms to go through. Unfortunately, you know, we're utilizing Blaziken, who's already a relatively high level as it is. But at the same time, like, I'll probably use Trapinch for the first portions of the trainers. Just because I'm trying, again, I want him to get him to Vibrava as soon as possible. You know, I really do. But against the gym Norm himself, no chance does Trapinch stand a chance in hell whatsoever. Speaking of chances in hell, God, I really should check. Let me see here. Who did I plan on utilizing strength? I think I know now that I'm thinking about it. I don't want to say because I haven't caught the Pokemon yet, but was I planning on teaching it strength? Oh, I was planning on teaching Flygon strength. Really? So I was going to give Flygon 2 HM moves? Was that really the best options? Let me see here. Was there anything else? Because I can see the moves I plan on teaching Flygon. The other 2 non-HM moves. But is there another move out there that's probably better to have than 2 HM moves? Let me see here. This is what we do when we got nothing else to do. Alright, so we can teach it that. That's actually good. Let me see here. That's not exactly all that great. I wouldn't want to teach it any of these. You know what? Maybe it's actually not that bad. The only other move I could teach it is that, which is relatively good, actually. Because then I have more coverage if I teach it that. But I still have a good amount of coverage with this as well. I'm trying to think. You know, can I give it to Solrock? Can Solrock learn strength? I think it can. And if it can, I'm going to have him learn strength instead. Because I don't want Flygon to have 2 HM moves. I know there's another move that I can teach it that's miles better, in my opinion. And in the middle of all this checking out, you know, the part ended up finishing. So that actually feels really good. But really quickly, let me just see here. No, I can't. Solrock can't learn strength? Oh my god. Okay, well, I'm going to try and figure out who's going to be learning what, because I really don't want Flygon to have 2 HMs, but if I have to, I have to, but we'll see. Anyways, that's going to call it a part right there, ladies and gentlemen, so I do hope you enjoy the rest of your evenings, and we'll catch you all in the next part.